Alright. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Okay. Wait. Yo. Yo. Okay. Okay, I see my webcam. Now, how can I show my like what I'm playing at this moment? How do I show what I'm playing at this moment? How could I show like on Streamlabs? How can I show what I'm playing right at this moment, like Minecraft and stuff?
Alright, so yeah, first,
I need help right now.
thank you. So you're on Streamlabs, right?
Yes.
Alright, so there should be like so hold on, tell me what it says.
Okay. Okay, I see my webcam, but I can't see like the game that I'm playing like right now at this moment. I can't see the game that I'm playing right at this moment, like in the background of my webcam.
Alright, hold on, wait. Alright, so go to configure. I think it is. It's called Hang, bro. Hold on, let me check. Cause I don't know about Streamlabs. I only know about OBS. I think Streamlabs is kind of the same though. Oh, you got Streamlabs OBS?
Hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Check it out really quickly. Yeah, 2 seconds.
So I don't know what to do.
I ain't going to check it out. I gotta see. Oh, you're playing my. Oh, no, that's it. My friend. Is it a girl? Are you a girl?
Oh my god, seriously?
I'm trying to help him stream. Stream. It's like stream. Alright, so we go to. I just enjoy. Where is it at? Alright, so you go to. So you see sources, right?
Where I see sources? Where's the sources? What does the sources look like?
Or just click.
Like you see like a screenshot of the icon or sources.
Oh, you on your stream?
Yeah, I need to see the screenshot though. So I don't know where it's at.
Let me check it.
It's dark in here.
I clicked on your stream for a second because I was looking at the video.
Alright.
Why are you flashing the light on your stream?
I wasn't trying to. There. You see me better?
I'm more blind now.
Oh my gosh. This is confusing.
I don't see anything different except for your face now.
I'm just saying like I want to see like it looks like this, but I need to see like the me playing the game. Really, the bottom corner. The whole bottom corner of the screen.
Yeah, I mean, I just see everything the same. No difference.
Seriously? That's so weird. I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Alright, so then like that. Alright, so do you see sources?
I don't see them at all. They're not labeled, so it's more confusing.
Alright, hold up. Kinks? Seriously? Oh, yeah, actually, no. Alright. So on Snapchat, turn your camera on. And then show me what you're looking at. Oh, I like to add it to the story. I missed your call one time, my bad.
Okay. Here's what I'm seeing. Like, this is what I'm seeing right over here. All of this. Like,
Oh, yeah, that's alright, wait. Angle your camera better.
I'm trying to. My actual camera not really.
Alright, alright, hold on,
Bro,
no,
highlighter.
go back, let me get a full screen, bro.
My arms hurting. Gotta hurry up.
Alright, so then.
This is all I have. Here's the thing.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Alright, go to the plus.
What? Where?
My sources.
Oh, the plus. Okay, I see the plus. What am I doing?
And then find your thing that you're trying to play. So you have to have it open.
Here? What am I looking for? Like image, browser source, image.
Well, let me see. Windows capture, right?
Yeah.
Alright, go to that.
Add source.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, wait, bro.
Do you want me to just click add source again, or you want me to add the name of the source?
The name. Nah, you don't gotta put the name. Well, I mean, yeah. Put the,
Okay, yes or no?
put the name. Put the name as something like what the game is.
Okay. Alright, I put the name. Ooh.
Alright, and now what does it say right now? Oh yeah, select what you do. Yeah.
Okay, that's what you're done for. That's how you're done it.
Alright, so does that mean the name?
Bruh.
Okay. Alright, it's showing sound though. It's not sounding.
Yeah, it is. That's all it's showing.
Huh? Oh, you can't unminimize it.
Huh?
Yeah, unminimize it.
I minimize what? I don't get. Know how confusing this is right now? Are you helping?
Wait. Alright, change to the source name. Or change it to what you got.
These are the only two things I have here. Can you read that? Can you read that? That's all I have.
I can't read.
Can you read it now? Menu bar, and that's default.
Windows servers.
Okay, Windows Server.
Alright, you can see what you're screaming at.
Okay, so hit done, right? So click done.
Yo. Oh. Now, what screen is that showing on?
I don't know.
I don't know how you got to that.
Bruh, it's just so confusing.
You might need to look up a video, right?
Oh my, no.
It's gonna take you a bit, right? But I mean, honestly, I just watched one video about it, and I was able to do it. And it's pretty good.
Okay. So I gotta look it up, huh? Okay, what do I look up? Just, like, what do I look up? Bro? Hello? Hello?
Hey,
What do I look up?
yeah, I think,
Oh?
if you watch a YouTube video, it should be good.
What do I look up on YouTube? That's my question. Like, what video do I look up on YouTube?
Oh, look up how to get OBS. Or how to start streaming video game. How to start streaming video games on OBS.
Alright.
Well, I try to find a cat.
I'm watching this video.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Streamlabs YouTube channel. My name is Preacher, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about an awesome free streaming software called Video. So if you haven't checked that video, yes, anyway. Well, Streamlabs OBS, like OBS, Mixer, YouTube, and Facebook. However, Streamlabs has integrated a ton of tools like custom alerts, widgets, and overlays right into their dashboard, which is going to make your job a lot easier when you want to get a really creative look with your live stream. Today we'll show you how to download and install. With that being said, let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, we need to download Streamlabs OBS. So we're going to go to streamlabs.com and download the software to our computer. So we're going to click this green button here that says download Streamlabs. And once that's downloaded, we can click on it and run the program. Then when we go to set up Streamlabs OBS, we're going to have to go through their terms and agreements. We're going to click agree. Files. Once we've done that, we're going to have to log into the account to connect Streamlabs with our streaming platform. So we're going to select the platform that we are streaming to. Once we've logged into our platform's account, we now have two options that we can select between when setting up Streamlabs OBS. Now, as I said, this is very similar to OBS Studio. What Streamlabs OBS has done is they've allowed you to import settings from OBS Studio if you've already been working with OBS Studio to make your job a little bit easier. You can also select Start Fresh. This is what we're going to do today for the sake of exploring Streamlabs OBS. Once we've done that, we're going to be able to set up our mic and our webcam. And so we're going to go down here to select our webcam, and then down here to select our microphone. Click Continue. Once we've done that, we're going to see a blank canvas within Streamlabs. There's quite a few differences with Streamlabs OBS in comparison to OBS Studio, such as the menu options up at the top left, like the editor and the themes that you can select from, as well as the dashboard button right here. But we'll go into a lot of this throughout the video. Down in the bottom left right here, we're going to see that there is a collection of scenes. In this case, there's only one scene created currently, and this is by default when you begin in Streamlabs. In order to add a scene, we're going to click on the plus sign here to add a new scene, and we can name this scene whatever we'd like. We'll call it Scene 2. Now that we've added that scene, we're going to have two blank scenes within Streamlabs that we can rotate between. Now what we need to do is we need to add sources to that scene. In order to do that, we're going to go down to the bottom middle here where it says Sources, and we're going to go to the plus sign. You're going to see a pop-up menu that's going to give you a ton of different options of different sources that you can add to your scene. So let's add a few sources here. To begin, let's add a background to our scene. Let's call this background. We're going to click Add Source. It's going to give us an option to search for a file on our computer. I'm going to select this awesome Streamlabs background, and I'm going to click Done. Once I do that, I can resize this however I would like and fill out the scene, or I could add it to just a part of the scene. All right, now that we've added a background, let's add a webcam. We're going to go to Video Capture Device. We're going to click Add Source, and we'll label this webcam. Let's click Add Source, and then we're going to be able to select from any of the webcams that are connected to our computer currently. So let's select this webcam here, and we're going to click Done. And now we can move this and drag it wherever we would like. So let's say I wanted to add a display capture so that my viewers can see what I'm looking at on my monitor. For example, if I'm searching the web or anything like that, I could do that simply by adding a display capture, adding source, we'll leave it named display capture. So let's select the one we're currently using. And now that I've done that, you're going to be able to see everything that I'm looking at. Now, what I want to show you is that if you go down below in the sources, you should think of the sources like a sandwich. It's essentially different pieces that are layered together from top to bottom. So what you see at the top is going to be in front versus what's at the bottom, which is going to be in the back. So if I move the display capture, for example, behind the webcam, it's now going to reveal my webcam. And now we still don't see the background, so let's move the display capture behind the background, and now that's going to hide the display capture. Resizing and relocating your sources is a great way to make sure that your scene looks exactly the way that you want it to look. So let's say we want to highlight every time somebody performs an action in the channel, such as following, posting, subscribing. In order to do that, we're going to add something called a widget. And Streamlabs has a ton of different options here. The one that we want to talk about is the alert box. And the alert box is going to highlight donations, subscriptions, follows, bits, or embers, hosts. So let's add that source. And we're going to label it alert box. And we're going to have a menu that's going to give us a ton of different options of the actions we want to highlight within that box. We can get a preview of what's going to happen in the alert, and we can adjust the layout as well as the sources and settings. If we want to test what each of those alerts looks like, we can click Test Widgets, and let's get an example of what the follow alert is going to look like for the viewer. So when I click the Test Follow, it's going to give me a preview of what the viewer is going to see when they follow the channel. When we click Done, it's going to show that our alert box is located right here. So we can move this, resize it, and relocate it wherever we would like.
Right, so I'll be right back.
I saw you still watching the video, so how was it?
It's still confusing, but I'm figuring it out.
Wait, what did you say? Oh, okay, good.
Oh, come on. Oh, great. I'm back. I'm back.
Hey, biggie.
Like on our scene. So now that we've talked about what your viewers are going to see in the scene, we're also going to talk about what your viewers are going to hear. And so we're going to look at the mixer at the bottom right here, and you're going to see a list of all of the audio inputs and outputs that are added as sources on a particular scene. To edit those sources, we can click on the settings wheel here. So what you're going to see here is a list of all of the audio outputs and inputs within your scene. For example, the desktop audio is going to capture all of the audio from your computer. So if you add music or your gameplay audio, all of that is going to be impacted by setting the volume here. Your mic and aux is your audio input, which is what you're hearing right now. This, I like to highly recommend that you set your desktop audio to a volume that's not going to overpower your microphone. The last thing that you want is for your viewer to be trying to understand what you're saying while they're listening to the gameplay. So I recommend setting the desktop audio to 50% or 60%, and then your mic audio to 100%. Something else that's built into the editor is what's called their Minifeed, and this actually shows any notification or alert that's happening in real time while you're streaming. So for example, follows or any sort of currency within the streaming platform that's being used, hosts, all of that can be seen right here. If you go over to the right, you're going to see a few other options for the Minifeed, such as popping out the event filtering options. So this is going to allow you to select what you want to see in your particular Minifeed, whether it's donations, follows, hosts, and effects, things like that. All of that can be selected right here. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the dashboard through Streamlabs. So when we click on the dashboard in Streamlabs OBS, it's actually going to bring us to a web browser with streamlabs.com. And this is going to bring us to our analytics. It's also going to be a place we can configure our alert box and our widgets. So even just looking at the analytics, what you're going to see here is recent donations. You're also going to see recent subscribers.